Hey everybody, welcome back to the Speed Shop. One of the things I have discovered, let me get in the shop here. When your truck is in this condition, with the motor on a stand, you can't go pick up a new motor for it. So I have a dilemma. So that dilemma is going to be solved by this right here and the Camaro. So we're going to build a tow hitch for the Camaro, mainly for that little trailer back there. I don't think it'll have any problem towing that little thing around, and that's more than enough to haul a motor, or an engine, as some people might complain about. So we're going to build a tow hitch for this thing. So let's get into it. All right, so underneath the car here, it looks like basically what we're going to do is I want to get it as close to the frame as possible back here, but that means we got to move this as far back as possible. So I'm thinking about putting it right there up against the bottom of the floor, you know, a little pocket in the back of the car, and go that route, and then build the frame out to here to hold it to the frame itself. But then that way it gives us support from the little trunk area too. So that's the best way I can think of do it. And I've looked at the design of the ones you can buy, and it's basically the same thing. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so this is part one of making this mount. Just wanted something that was bolted onto it too. I'm gonna build something off of here, off of that. I didn't even get that in the picture. This is phase one. So basically gonna build something, this, you obviously go this way for the hitch, for that part. I'm also gonna build up to here for support on the actual frame as well. So, but I just want to get something bolted on, and that seems to work pretty good. The bumper mounts, it's probably one of the most solid areas there is on this car because it's a unibody car. And I don't suggest towing with a unibody car, but you know, 1,000 pounds shouldn't make a difference. All right, so I got this first bracket made that bolts to the bumper bracket, the bumper mount. So that's going to need to transfer these holes over to the other side. And that'll go on the driver's side. So let me just transfer these holes over and get them drilled and cut and done. And we'll get that part done and start with the rest of it. All right, got both those brackets on there now. That one there and that one down there. That one the exhaust is interfering a little bit with. Not too big of a deal. So now we got an area to start doing a crossover to mount that in the center. So that's what we're gonna do next. Probably a piece of 1x2 square tubing. All right, so now we need to get a measurement between these two posts that we just put up in here, so we know what we're looking at for the center bar. And I think there's enough room in there. I might be able to put it up in here high enough to where this sits on top of it. But I don't know, we'll figure it out once we come to that part. So we want that to be right around in there someplace. So, all right, let's get a measurement. It is 33 1/8. Could probably pinch that together, make it 33 exactly too. Those are pretty solid on there, so I don't think those are gonna go anywhere. So I think we're gonna be good on that. So let's cut a piece of the 1x2 to 33 1/8. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to cut it in the middle. So I put that right up in there. I can weld to each side of this. So I just gotta find the center line, then cut this, and then weld this piece onto that in between it. So that brings it up. It should actually be like this. Well, I'll just do that. That could work too. Or I'll bring it out to it. Angle it out this way to it, maybe. Yep, I think that might be what we do. So, and then we'll attach back here to the frame too to give it more structure. But I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to angle it out. So that way this brings this out a little bit further too. So yeah, let's do that. All right, so fiddling around a little bit, I realized if you look back, you can see that the frame in the back where the bumper mounts are not symmetrical. The driver's side is out further by like 2.5 inches, 4 inches. It was actually 4 inches. So I had to do some calculations to figure out where the actual center line is between those two. So you can see that's pretty centered now. If you look at the those little points right there hanging down, you can see the difference in the where they're at, where they're located at. That one's like 12 inches. That one's 8.5 inches. So I just did some calculations and figured out the center line between the two anyways. And that's what I got. So it's pretty centered. So that's what I got to measure to or figure out to where that hitch needs to go. All right, so we got these braces cut to length, and I got it worked out to where these line up perfectly with the back of this. This hitch mount, or step bumper receiver is what it is. But anyway, so we're gonna weld these on here, make them flush with this, flush here, and flush down here, and we're gonna be good to go. So that's gonna be the first part. We still gotta do a lot more bracing because it's still gonna be towing something, but you know, we want it to be strong. So the first thing we need to do is get all this coating off of here, otherwise, you know, you're not gonna be able to weld to it. So let's get all the coating stripped off of there, and then we'll get these welded on there. All right, so we got that all tacked together now. So now we can test fit it. And if you're watching closely, you saw that I welded the first one on the wrong side and I had to switch it back over because that's the way it's supposed to be in there. And that's the short side, that's the long side on the car. So, yep, I don't know what I was thinking, but that's where we're at now. So we just got to finish welding that. I'm gonna test fit it on the car first, just to be sure. And then finish weld it and get it welded to those brackets that are already in there. And then we got to brace it. That's going to be the fun part, figuring out how to brace it to the frame, or more of the frame, I should say. So let's get this test fitted. Yeah, one thing I didn't quite think about is when this thing is this close to the door, during the day, the sun's right on you and it's pretty warm. That'll work. I have to fill this end up a little bit, but I think we can make that work right there. Nice and flush both sides. Nice and centered. So let's get the welder over here and get her tacked in. That's strong enough. A few tack welds, you know, 4 bolts. That can haul 1,000 pounds, right? Yeah, I'm just kidding. We're gonna take it off now and weld it because it is removable as of right now. I want to make it removable, but we'll see. But we can unbolt it right now and we can finish welding it on the bench. It'll be a lot easier that way. Then we'll get back in there and we will figure out bracing. So I test fitted the hitch in there. I think I might have to get a slightly longer one, or maybe just drill another hole in it, because it's pretty close to the bumper. So we'll see. There's plenty of room in this one to drill another hole, so I ain't too worried. But let's get this thing out of here so we can get it finished welded. That welded in tight. There. Cool. All right, got that all welded up now, so that's definitely not going anywhere. And it's still hot, by the way, even way up here. But anyway, so now we got to do the part that goes up to the frame. So we're going to have angular pieces that go from here up to the frame on each side, and got this 2x2 L-beam I'm going to use as a place to mount it, to weld to. So hopefully I'll be able to drill holes in this to mount to that with some bolts. Probably have to feed through with like a wire or something, but we're gonna try it, see if we can make it work, and then go from there. So this part is done. It'd probably be enough, to be honest with you, but we're not gonna take that kind of chance. All right, so we got this all welded up yesterday. So we gotta get it back up underneath the car now so we can do the rest of it and the support to the frame itself. So let's get that back up in there. So I made the brackets that are gonna go over the frame, and also made these little straps. I gotta weld them still, but I just wanna show you what these are gonna do. Let's go over to the car here. So what I made this strap thing for, see there's a hole right there in the frame. I can feed that through there. Get the whole thing in there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but. And then, just like that, we have a strap to bolt this part of the tow hitch to. So now I can put that bracket up in there and I can weld a piece from here to here, and that'll give us enough support and it'll be removable. So I got one made, I got the parts to make another one. So the other one, gonna mark the holes and it'll be ready to go. The way I'm doing this is I'm just using a socket. These are carriage bolts. You see I get the little square on the end of them there. And I'm just pressing them in using my press and utilizing a socket for a spacer. It does tweak the metal a little bit, so you gotta straighten it out afterwards, but this at least gets it to the point where I can weld it. See, get them nice pressed in there, and I'll just put a little tack on each one of them, so that way it won't move, it won't go nowhere. Let's see if this one lines up. Let's see that. I don't even have to bend it back this time. So I'm gonna just weld that real quick, and we'll get it up in there, get these brackets in there, and start finishing up this. I don't know why I can't remember what the heck it's called. But yeah, we're gonna finish up these the tow hitch. All right, so we got the brackets bolted up in there with our little, what are they called, bolt straps that I made that can go up inside the frame. So now they can be removable. So now we just need to connect this piece to that piece. And that should be good enough to trailer about 1,000 pounds, maybe a little bit more. Whatever the weight of the motor is, plus the weight of the trailer. The trailer ain't that much. So we just gotta connect them now. All right, so I decided to go with 1x1 tubing, and I angled it. Put us notching it up there and angled it down here, so that way, you know, it still gives me room to get to the bolts on both of them. So now I just gotta weld it on. I got that one made for the other side as well. And Dick's out here. So just gotta get it welded in now. All right, so we got those 1-inch tubes tacked on there now. And I put the hitch on there just to test it, see if it drops down any for me to get bumps on it. So I'll check the video, see if it moved at all. I don't think it did, but I think we're gonna be good. Just gonna pull it off, finish welding everything, put it back on permanently. Then we gotta do some wiring. Get this thing out easy. If it unbolts the way I hope it does. All right, well, there we go. It unbolted, came out. The only issue is kind of the exhaust over right here. It kind of gets in the way, but it's easy enough to push out of the way. So, and I may have to clearance it somehow or move the tailpipe over a little bit. But for now, I'm not too worried about it. So I'm just gonna finish welding up these braces and call it a day. Got it all finished welded up. So I'm gonna put some paint on it and throw it up on the car and be done with it. All right, we just got back from town, went to eat. So let's go ahead and throw this thing back up in there and be done with it. All right, we officially have a trailer hitch for the Camaro. And that thing is solid. Like, it doesn't move at all. So we got everything bolted down. So now we just gotta finish the wiring up inside and get a hitch that actually works. I bought that little one right there at Harbor Freight, thinking it was longer than this, but this is actually longer, so put that in there for now. That's just too close to the bumper. It needs to be out about another 2 inches or so. So we'll figure something out. They had a longer one there that I might get. But I gotta figure out how tall it's gonna be and how much clearance we need for the actual trailer. So we'll see. All right, so as far as the wiring goes, it's real simple. You got 4 wires, because I'm not doing trailer braking or anything with this, obviously. You got yellow, green, white, and brown. So brown is your typical tail light. That's your, these are pretty much exactly GM colors. With the exception of white is your ground. So you gotta hit that to a ground. Green is your right turn signal, yellow is your left turn signal, and brown is your running lights, I think. Is that right? Yeah, green is right, yellow is left. So I just gotta tap them into here, to these 3 wires here, and run this to a ground, and we'll be golden. We'll have trailer lights. All right, so we got it on the ground now. You can see how tall it is, so we can compare it to the trailer. So we're looking at, say 13 inches. So let's go out and check the trailer. All right, so I cranked her down to where she's almost level, but she's not even all the way down yet. So the further that little mount goes, so see where we're at. And we were at right at 13 inches right there. So I think we are good for height. So we'll have to try it out tomorrow. Let's go get the Camaro hooked up to the trailer and see how it does. All right, let's get her hooked up here. That works. Well, looks like we got a running light. Got the hazards going right now, so we can see if those are blinking. And they are. So that's most likely means that the brake lights and turn signals all work. So let's get her pulled out and see how she looks. All right, so overall, it's working. It makes a lot of noise, but the hitch itself ain't moving at all. So it's mostly in the hitch, and plus this has no suspension whatsoever. So, but we definitely getting somewhere. We can go pick something up with it at least. Well, I think one of the best ways to test the Camaro and the trailer is to haul something. So let's load the mower up. It's about the weight of a LS1, isn't it? Or a 5.3 liter. trying to take it easy because I'm not going to strap it down. I'm just going to go around the block just to see how it does. Well, barely even tell it's back there. It is back there. All right, just got back from the test drive, and the mower moved around a bit, but it's not strapped in either. So, and the roads around my house are pretty bumpy, and because they're not exactly maintained by the county or nothing. So, but yeah, I think it was a good test overall. It did really well. I could probably use some helper springs maybe, but I think the engine, like a 5.3 liter engine, is probably gonna weigh less than this mower does. So shouldn't be too bad. I think we'll be all right. But now I have a way of picking up a motor or an engine so I can get the truck going again. All right, that'll do it for this video on making a tow hitch for my Camaro. So if you like this video, give it a like down there, leave me a comment, let me know what I can do better, and subscribe while you're at it. So now we can go pick up an engine for the truck. So thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.